2025 is set to be a banger year for VR, so let's look at some of the best new and upcoming VR games for Quest, PCVR and PSVR2. On to the first one. If you've ever wanted a full-scale Battlefield-style experience in VR, Forefront might be your dream come true. Developed by the team behind Breachers and Hyperdash, this massive multiplayer shooter puts two teams of 16 into large-scale battles complete with land, sea and air vehicles. You'll fight as one of 4 unique classes across sprawling maps from snowy outposts to desert battlefields. Each squad of 4 players can strategize with gadgets like grappling hooks or defibrillators. The game will even work on Quest 2, which I think is absolutely fantastic to see, and Forefront is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious VR shooters to date, with a targeted early access release in late 2025. The hit Half-Life Alyx mod Gunman Contracts is coming as a standalone game. This absolute banger throws you into the role of a deadly professional hitman. You'll crouch behind cover, physically aim down sights, and clean rooms with brutal efficiency. It's being published by 2080 Games and will launch in early access sometime in 2025. The roadmap is ambitious, starting with a detailed base of operation and a suite of weapons. The game will eventually expand into 6 fully fleshed out contract missions. While it's built as a VR-first title, flat screen support will also be available on Steam. If you've ever wanted that John Wick experience in VR, there's nothing more satisfying than this, so keep an eye out for it. From the team behind Ghosts of Tabor, Silent North brings PvPvE survival to a frozen alpine hellscape. I actually got to play a very early build of this last year at Gamescom in Germany, and it was already very promising. This game drops you into a snowy world where you'll scavenge for resources, battle the elements, and face off against both players and zombies. But here's the twist: when you die, you come back as a zombie carrying all of your gear. That means other players can hunt your undead corpse before you can reclaim it. Between the brutal cold, dynamic day-night cycles, and trust no one encounters, every decision is high stakes. You'll need to manage hunger, thirst, and exposure while navigating creepy snow-covered towns. It's launching into early access very soon on April 8th, so definitely keep an eye out for Silent North. Boxing Underdog caught my eye from the second it was announced. Developed by Monologic Games, the studio behind VenVR Adventure, this fighter uses adaptive AI that actually studies your playstyle. That means your opponents evolve as you do, learning your weaknesses and forcing you to refine your technique. Originally titled VRSO Bare Knuckle Fighting, it now focuses on realism with physics-based punches and optional bare knuckle combat. You'll rise through the ranks from street brawler to pro contender, all while training against increasingly clever foes. Multiplayer is also on the way, and modding support will let you create your own AI fighters. If you want more than just flailing your arms in VR, if you want to box, Boxing Underdog might be your next favorite workout. Hard Bullet is probably one of the most brutal VR games ever, and it's now finally coming to Quest this spring. This over-the-top physics-driven shooter has been a cult favorite on PCVR for years, so seeing it brought to standalone is incredible. Set in a gritty, neon-soaked city, it gives you total freedom to unleash mayhem. You can grab enemies, kick them through windows, or go full John Wick with slow-motion gunfights and dual-wielding insanity. The arsenal is huge, over 100 weapons with custom mods, and in sandbox mode, you can weld together multiple guns to create ridiculous hybrids, like a 6-barrel SMG monster or a shotgun that shoots katanas instead of bullets. Think Max Payne meets Blade Runner, all in VR. If you're looking for creative carnage and cinematic shootouts, Hard Bullet delivers it with style. The iconic physics sandbox Boneworks is finally making its way to Quest 3, and it's bringing some serious innovations with it. Stress Level 0 is rebuilding the experience with inside-out body tracking, so your whole body moves naturally in VR without external sensors. Co-founder Brandon Latch called it one of the most important changes to VR since motion controllers. The Quest 3 version will launch alongside a major update to the Marrow engine, which powers both Boneworks and BoneLab. And in a rare show of goodwill, SLZ has confirmed they won't take down the fan-made LabWorks mod that unofficially brought Boneworks to BoneLab. This official port aims to be the definitive way to experience physics-based VR gameplay on a standalone hardware. No wires, no compromises. Surviving Mars Pioneer transforms the city-building sim into a first-person VR survival experience. Developed by Bulwark Games and Flat2VR Studios, it drops you onto the Martian surface where you'll build habitats, install solar panels, and manage oxygen oxygen supplies, all with your own two hands. This isn't just a visual overhaul of the original, it's an entirely new perspective. You'll feel the pressure of completing tasks before nightfall or a storm rolls in, making survival deeply personal. The economic mechanics are still there too: contracts, sponsors, and long-term colony growth. Only now you're not a god view overseer, you're the one actually doing the work. Early access is planned for 2025 and it's shaping up to be the most immersive way to colonize Mars ever made. Laser Dance brings danger right into your living room. Created by the developer behind Cubism, this mixed reality game turns your physical space into a laser-dodging obstacle course. Using the Quest 3 spatial mapping, it scans your environment and generates challenges between real walls. There are 3 types of lasers: some move in patterns, some blink in and out, and some only move when you do. It's like playing Mission Impossible in your own house, with each stage procedurally generated based on your layout. Touch a beam and a ghostly skeleton appears, showing you exactly where you messed up. It's clever, physical, and a perfect showcase for mixed reality. If you want a VR game that actually gets you moving, Laser Dance is it. Zombie Army VR brings Rebellion's cult hit undead shooter into first person, and it's every bit as gruesome as you'd expect. Set between Zombie Army Trilogy and Zombie Army 4, you play as a dead hunter fighting to purge Europe of reanimated Nazis. Expect exploding skulls and shattering bones in glorious slow motion. Missions are split into 20 to 30 minute segments with scalable difficulty and reloading modes ranging from arcade to ultra realistic. You'll manage a satchel of weapons and face everything from zombie grunts to machine gun wielding brutes. If you love gruesome slow-mo kills and arcade action, Zombie Army VR is locked, loaded, and shambling your way soon. If Dead Space were made for VR, it would probably look a lot like Memoriam. I played this one at Gamescom last year too, and it was already feeling very polished for an early build. You play as a scientist who wakes up from stasis aboard the Century Dawn, a massive colony ship gone horribly wrong. The crew has turned into terrifying creatures infected by a mysterious substance. Your only hope is a modular, all-in-one weapon that transforms at crafting stations, letting you adapt your combat style on the fly. Whether it's a shotgun or something more experimental, how you fight is up to you. Developed by Patient 8 Games, they're aiming for a true survival horror, combining claustrophobic corridors, eerie silence, and terrifying enemy encounters. Memoriam lands in September 2025, and it's already looking like one of VR's most promising horror titles. Reeve throws you into a dark fantasy world where the most dangerous thing might not be the monsters, it's actually the other players you need to worry about. Developed by the creators of A Township Tale, this extraction-style RPG is all about risk and reward. Do you team up with a stranger in a dungeon full of loot, or do you backstab them and take everything? It's a brutal game of trust and betrayal. You can build your character as a stealthy rogue, powerful mage, or brutal warrior, customizing your loadout to match your style. And between expeditions, you'll hang out in social hubs where you can trade, plan, or just talk. It's launching for Quest and PCVR sometime in 2025, and if it delivers on its promise, Reeve could be incredible. But to really understand how far VR has come, check out this video next about the outstanding evolution of VR technology. You can also watch some other great upcoming games here, but I've put a lot of love into the option on the left and really think you're gonna enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers, guys!